The White House said Friday it has begun the mass layoff of the federal workers as the President Donald Trump sought to amp up pressure on the opposition Democrats to end a government shutdown that has always crippled the public services. Also, with the crisis set to go on into the third week and the no off-ramp in the sight, the Donald Trump budget chief, that is Russ Vought, also announced on the social media that the administration had begun following through on the threats to fire also some of the 750,000 public servants placed on the enforced leaves. Also, the Office of Management and Budget, headed by Vought, also told the Millennium that the layoff would be substantial but gave no precise number or details of which department would be most affected. The president has repeatedly emphasized that he views cutbacks as a way of increasing pain on the Democrats, and also said the last week that he was meeting the Vought to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are the political scam, should be targeted. The Democratic leaders in the Congress also have dismissed the threats as an attempt at the intimidation and say that the mass firing would not stand up in the court. Russell Vought just fired. Russell Vought has just fired thousands of the Americans with a tweet. The party's leader in the Senate, that is Chuck Schumer, also said in the statement berating the White House for wreaking deliberate chaos. Also, let's be blunt, nobody is forcing Donald Trump and the Vought to do this. They don't have to do it. They want to, he fumed. Also, they are callously choosing to hurt people, the workers who protect our country, inspect our food, respond when the disasters strike. Union representing the 8 lakh government employees asked a federal judge in the San Francisco for an emergency order to halt the firings ahead of the hearing set for the October 16th on their legality. A United States Treasury spokesperson also told the Millennium the department had begun sending out notices of the layoff, while the Health and the Human Service Department said that it had started firing non-essential workers as a direct consequence of the Democrat-led government shutdown. The education officials were also reducing their workforce, a source with knowledge of staffing decisions at the department told the Millennium. Tired of the chaos, the public servant who hang on to their job still face the misery of going without pay while the crisis remain unresolved. This with the standoff expected to drag on at least of the middle of next week, adding to the pain. The 1.3 million active duty service military personnel are also set to miss their pay due next week. Also, this is something that has not happened in any of the funding shutdowns through the modern history. We are not in a good model here in the Capitol. It's a somber day, the Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson said at a news conference marking the 10th day of the shutdown. Non-essential government work stopped after the September 30 funding deadline, with the Senate Democrats repeatedly blocking a Republican resolution to reopen the federal agencies. The sticking point has been a refusal by the Republicans to include language in the bill to address expiring subsidies, the mark of the health insurance affordable for the 24 million Americans. With the prolonged shutdown looking more likely each day, the members of Congress have been looking to Donald Trump to set in and break the deadlock. But the president has been largely turned out, with the focus on the Gaza ceasefire deal and also sending the federal troops to bolster his mass deportation drive in the Democratic-led cities such as Chicago and Portland. The American people are sick and tired of the chaos, crisis and confusion that has been visited upon the country by the Donald Trump and the Republican complete control of the Congress. This is what the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries told the news conference. The BLS, that is the Bureau of the Labor Statistics, meanwhile announced that it would delay the publication of key inflation data due next week to the October 24th, with the shutdown lockjamming the government data releases. Also, the Consumer Price Index data is being published to allow the Social Security Administration to also ensure the accurate and timely payment of the benefits, it said.